Hello and welcome to Take Two. Did I have it open? Okay. I am so sorry for the technical difficulties. I was on my laptop. I thought it would be good and it was not. Yes, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Again, if you missed the first terrible laggy part of this attempted live show, hello, welcome, Nanowrimo, day 15, we're halfway there. You can ask me questions via the Google Plus Q&A app or on Twitter with the hashtag Midpoint Madness. You don't need to tweet at me, just tweet with the hashtag Midpoint Madness and I will find you and I will answer your question. So, I did have questions in the Hangouts. I'm sorry you guys have to ask it again. I'm sorry about this madness happening here at the Midpoint. Apologies. Yes, sorry. I'm here, and hopefully this is better. This isn't lagging, right? It's so much better now. Good. Stupid Sebastian. That's the name of my laptop, and he's stupid. And Jonathan is so much better. I should have started here, but I want to switch it up and have the different background, and I should have just started here from the beginning. But yes, hello, thank you for coming. Since it's taking a second for questions to pop up in this Q&A app thing, I am going to pop over to Twitter, and I will be back here to the Google Plus in a minute. So if you see any questions you like, vote them up. If you want to ask questions, you can do that. Then I'm gonna hop over to the hashtag for a second and answer some of those questions. Where did I leave off? I have written 8 words all week. Oh, hey, that tweet had 6 words in there and a hashtag. So you've written like 14 at least. I mean, not on your story, but still. Go write. What are you doing in a live show when you should be writing? Go write. I need to write as well. I haven't written in like 2 days. What is your favorite part about living in LA? The cool opportunities that I get that I didn't have before, like where I lived before, even going to an author signing, I usually had to drive like a couple hours to get anywhere where an author that I cared about was going to be signing. And here, there's signings all the time. And there's also cool events like movie premieres. That's the only thing that's coming to my mind right now because the Mockingjay movie premiere is happening on Wednesday, and I get to go! I'm so excited. I have no idea how this happened. No idea at all, because I didn't sign up for anything or ask to be invited or anything, but I got this email, Tumblr is having a VIP fan screening, and I got an invite to that. And I don't know how, but I'm very excited, and I'm definitely going. So that is Wednesday evening here in Los Angeles, and that's why I love Los Angeles. Other than the events, nothing is really too different living in Los Angeles than living anywhere else because I just stay inside on the internet all the time. And I could do that anywhere. I could do that in Antarctica, but it would be cold. So that's one reason I prefer LA. It's nicer weather, even though today is kind of cloudy and overcast, but generally nice weather. I mean, I liked the weather up in Northern California, I think, better, because even though it wasn't as hot, it wasn't as hot. The summer here was torture. It was 80 degrees at night in October. What is that about? But it's getting better. It's cooler out today. It's cooler. I still like Northern California better, I think. I like the NorCal. Yeah, NorCal. I don't even know what question I was answering. Oh, Los Angeles one. I have 10 main characters. How do I make them feel different? It's just a matter of developing them. Again, that's something that's a lot harder in a draft. So my advice would be don't worry about that too much in NaNoWriMo. Also, you might want to consider how important all of these characters are. If you're having trouble making them feel different and developing them separately, maybe you don't need so many. I mean, this is a piece of advice that I myself haven't really had to incorporate in my own writing, but I have heard other authors talk about how they've had to like take two characters and combine them into one character because having two just wasn't necessary. So maybe you can combine some of them if you really don't need those 10 main characters, but if you do, then it's a matter of developing their personality, which is not necessarily something that will come easy during NaNoWriMo since you're all about like cranking out those words. But in revisions, you can really focus on like core personality traits of each character and how that motivates them in all the things that they do. I do have more to say on this topic, but not like in my head right now. So I'll probably talk about this more in a video later because I do have more advice and thoughts, I guess, that I could elaborate on, but I need time to make them into better words. What author's help would you want with writing your novel? I don't know. I just have them like give me feedback and like critique. Maybe, oh gosh, I lean toward my favorite authors, but then I feel like I would be too intimidated to actually, like, I would put so much weight on their opinion that like I kind of wouldn't want them to read it while it's still in the developmental stage. Like maybe once I had someone to help me like refine it, I could show it to them and be like, do you want to read my book? But if it's still like in development and editing, then I don't think I would want any of my like favorite authors to read it because it'd probably be a hot mess. So I don't know. That's a difficult question. What author's help would you want when writing your novel? I don't know. I don't know. I like Laini Taylor and John Green are some of my favorite authors, so I kind of lean toward them. But again, I wouldn't want them to see like the unfinished, unpolished novel. It's so embarrassing. Okay, where is my Q&A? Let's go to the Q&A. Say you're halfway through, oh, I can select it here in the Q&A so you guys can see what I'm answering. Say you're halfway through your novel and you feel as if you are stuck with your plot. What do you do? I made a whole video about this last week. My tips in that video were that you make a list of like every possible direction your story could go in, any possible thing that could happen from like what's likely to what is impossible. Like you just gather all these possibilities, brainstorm, and then go through them and see like, well, does this work? Does this fit? Where will this take us? Where will this take us? Go to the NaNoWrimo forums and start adopting things. They have like dares or plot twists and stuff like that that you can adopt and add some spice into your story, maybe take it in a new direction. Or I'm assuming, well, you feel as if you're stuck with your plot. Is that, did you outline, or is that like your pants in it and now you're like, what do I do? If you outlined, maybe take a look at your outline, like figure out what your ending is and how to get there. Yeah, I talked about this in a video last week with better words. So yeah, did you outline? I need more information here before I can help you diagnose this problem. But I just brainstorm any possibility, backtrack if you need to, just play around with it. And I realize as I'm saying this that does not sound helpful, but I need more specifics if I want to get into it. Any tips to spice up the basic he said, she mentioned, they questioned, etc.? I feel like you shouldn't spice that up. Like I mean, you can like add in like different things every now and then, like shouted, yelled, whispered, mentioned, questioned, stuff like that. But said, he said, she said, like that's a standard. Like that's kind of I read this before, that it's kind of like invisible to the reader's eye. Like, it's just like your standard dialogue tag. You don't get tripped up on it. You don't like even think about it. It's just like marking the dialogue. It's your standard dialogue tag. You don't need to spice it up, really. I mean, if like the whole page is like he said, she said, he said, she said, he said, she said, you can do without dialogue tags. Like, maybe that's how you spice it up and add some difference in, is by not having a dialogue tag. Like, have your piece of dialogue and then be like, she brushed her hair behind her ear or something like that, to like show who's speaking without saying that he said, she said kind of situation. But yeah, I would for the most part stick to he said, she said, maybe a mentioned, a questioned, and asked, stuff like that in there. But don't get too over eager with like the shouted and the yelled and the gasp and all that other stuff. Like, said is a solid choice. You can't really go wrong with said. And if you feel like it's getting too repetitive, just leave off the dialogue tags completely. Interesting. Something I've always been interested in. How do you feel about drawn, painted book covers as opposed to photographs, graphic design, photo manipulations? I don't know. It totally depends on the cover, but I like all different kinds. It's really about like what works best with the story. For example, Victoria Schwab's adult books, Vicious and A Darker Shade of Magic, those have like illustrated graphic covers that are beautiful and I feel like go really well with the stories, or at least Vicious does. I haven't read A Darker Shade of Magic yet because it's not out yet. But otherwise, I feel like a lot of middle grade books and like younger books end up with the illustrated covers, like Harry Potter or Iron Trial. What books do I have by me here? Colleen Hoover, Hopeless, Girl on the Cover. I feel like I do like the illustrated ones better than humans on the cover, but I feel like we get a lot of humans on the cover in young adult. What else do I have here? I have Mara Dyer, but that doesn't have a cover on it because I'm reading it. I have this one, which I like. It doesn't have like obviously a human. It's not like all about the girl on the cover, and it has like some cool designs on it. I like this one. I don't know, maybe I did do a video on my favorite covers a while back, but maybe I will do another one and discuss more in detail the covers. Ugh, those are all the books. Oh no, wait, I do. I find this came in the mail. If you guys saw my book haul, you know that I got, like, this was the edition that I wanted, but I didn't realize that this was the UK edition, and the edition that I ended up getting, the US edition, was the US edition. I didn't realize which edition was which, so I ordered it from Amazon, and it wasn't this one, it was the other one, and this is the one I wanted. So I ordered this from the Book Depository. It's so beautiful. Like, it doesn't have a dust jacket. It's a hardcover just printed right on here, and it's like shiny and kind of like engraved, almost, not engraved. I don't know. It has like a little bit of a texture on it. The pages are bright pink, so beautiful, and it has like one of these bookmark thingies. It's so cool. This is such a nice book. I like the other cover too, though. That's another like graphic drawn cover. And the coolest thing about that one is that on the cover of that book, there are 12 couples like ice skating on a rink, and those 12 couples are like the 12 couples from the book, from the 12 holiday stories. So both covers are beautiful. This anthology really lucked out in the cover department because both covers are beautiful. But this one I prefer, but I have both of them, and I'm happy with both of them. Anyways, covers, book covers, yay! Do you think buying the 2014 shirt is a good reward for finishing my novel? I do. I think that's a great reward for finishing your novel. I usually buy the shirts before NaNoWriMo. Like this is the 2013 shirt, and I bought it like August of 2013, like way early. But then I got a winter shirt. I didn't get a 2013 winter shirt because I wasn't happy with my 2013 victory. I didn't feel as victorious as I did with 2012 because like I intended to vlog last year and I didn't. But I did buy a 2012 winter shirt, and I feel like I earned it. Like I feel like, yes, this is good. A good reward, and I'll probably buy a 2014 winter shirt. I don't know. It depends on how much I like the design. I have like 5 NaNoWriMo shirts now, so I don't like need to buy another one, but I don't know. If I feel like I did a good job this NaNoWriMo and I feel like I deserve it, I will buy it. And I do think buying the NaNoWriMo shirt is a good reward for finishing your novel. Yes, I say go for it. I encourage this purchase. Okay, let's hop over to Twitter for a second because the hashtag, there's more in the hashtag. Okay, oh, there's a lot more in the hashtag. This is madness. Get it? Midpoint madness? No, never mind. Okay. Where did I leave off? Cat, there's a TARDIS behind you. Liar! I will not fall for that. Did I ever fall for that? I feel like I didn't, but I might have. You're just trying to give me your look behind me. When I can see in the screen, I can see what's behind me, and I know you are lying. Also, I don't own anything TARDIS shaped here. I have a sonic screwdriver somewhere, but if you could become one of your characters for one day, who would you choose? Oh. This has so many variables, I don't even know where to start. Like, do I get to choose what day in their life I live? Like, can I choose like their best day, or am I gonna end up on like their worst day, the darkest moment? Do I get to choose what, like my 24-hour time period of being in their life? Do I get to choose that? If I do, I don't know. That is still really hard because they all have great moments that I could totally go for. Probably my character from last year's NaNoWriMo, my main character. How much did I share with you guys about this novel? Am I about to like give away more than I want to? She was a badass warrior fighter chick and supernatural. Obviously, she fought demons. And yeah, so that was pretty fun. I don't want to say a lot. I don't want to tell you guys about my stories. I'm protective over them now. I want to keep my secrets. You cannot have them. They are my secrets. Are you excited about the Night of Writing Dangerously? Okay, let's talk about this for a little bit. Night of Writing Dangerously, for those of you who don't know, it's an event that happens every year that the NaNoWriMo people put on up in San Francisco. It's part of their fundraising for NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo participants, me, and anyone else who wants to, can fundraise money for NaNoWriMo, and if you raise enough money, then you can attend this really cool like dinner event that they put on in San Francisco to kind of like thank the people who helped fundraise for them. So I fundraised enough money to be able to go, and it is tomorrow. I already checked into my flight and everything. Like my flight leaves here, Los Angeles, at like 9 in the morning tomorrow. And then I'll be in San Francisco just for one day, just one night. I'll be in San Francisco for the Night of Writing Dangerously. Like I'll fly out tomorrow morning, get ready, go to the Night of Writing Dangerously, where it's basically just a dinner and all of the NaNoWriMo participants get in this big banquet room. There's food and drinks and everyone has their laptops and we write and there's word sprints and word wars and it's just a night of fun and writing dangerously. So And then I like I'm staying that night there and then flying back Monday morning. So I'm really only there for barely 24 hours, but I'm really excited. I haven't packed. I'm doing this live show now because I'm not going to be able to do a video, like edit and upload a video today. I think after this live show, I'm gonna film a really quick video for day 16, just so I have one for day 16, so I don't like mess up my streak. Because right now, if you look at my channel, like I have a video uploaded every single day for the last 14 days, or a live show 15 days, and I don't want to mess that up. Don't break the chain. I think that was going to be a topic of one of my videos, so I shouldn't talk about that too much now. Don't break the chain. But yeah, so Night of Writing Dangerously. I'm excited. I need to pack. I need to like do laundry and pack and get my life together. But yes, I'm very excited. How do you plan to catch up? At the Night of Writing Dangerously, pretty much. I'm like 5,000 words behind right now, and I'm planning to just write on my plane ride to San Francisco, write at the Night of Writing Dangerously, and write on my plane ride home. And I think between all of that, I should be able to catch up. I hope I can catch up. I want to catch up. I should be able to catch up. I'm not too worried. I have, you know, Night of Writing Dangerously should be a decent writing day. And also there is 10K Tuesday coming up, so not too worried. I should, if I don't catch up by 10K Tuesday, I'll catch up on 10K Tuesday. I'm not 10K behind yet, so at least I'm good on that front. But yeah, just gotta do it. You have to, sometimes you have to look at it not as catching up, but just as continuing. Because when you think of catching up, then you start getting stressed out and you're like, the pressure and the stress and like, I have to do this much just to be at zero. Don't think of it like that. Think of it as like a blank slate. Like today you have a blank slate. I don't know what time of day it is for you. It's early for me. 11:41 a.m. is early for me. It actually really is. But yeah, just think of it as every day is a blank slate. You're not behind. Anything you write is good. Like you get overwhelmed with the amount of behind you are. Like I'm 10,000 behind. I'm never going to catch up. So I might as well not even try to catch up. But it's not like that. If you stay 10,000 words behind for the rest of the month, you can still end the month with 40,000 words, which is still awesome. Like it might not be the 50,000 to win NaNoWriMo, but 40,000 words is still awesome. Like it's not something that you should like feel bad about. You still did great. Don't let the guilt and the stress bring you down. Just keep on keeping on. That's my advice for you there. If you couldn't write, what kind of writing related job would you want? Like an editor, an agent? If it's something that in the publishing industry, probably, oh, this is tricky. Probably an editor. Like I almost lean to agent because I really like the idea of their job, but I don't think I'd be very good at the contract negotiations. Like, I mean, maybe if I studied and learned it, but I don't know anything about contracts and like the contract language and whatnot. But editing, I could do. I think I could do the editing. Aside out of the publishing industry, if it was still writing related, I would love to teach creative writing because I feel like I almost kind of do that sometimes on my channel anyways. And I love the craft of writing. I love writing craft, particularly structure. I love plot and story structure and character development and that nitty-gritty stuff. I love it. I would love to learn more and help other people, teach other people, but if it has to be in the publishing industry, probably editing. Yes. What is the NaNoWriMo chart behind you all about? Oh, I think that was from my last attempt at the live show. That's my wall of quotes. I made a whole video about this. In 2012, every single day, I wrote a new inspirational writing quote on a little like index card, And at the end of the month, I had these 30 writing quotes and my winner's certificate, and I put them together on a poster board to celebrate my 2012 victory and all the inspiration, and it's nice. I like it. I talked about this in the, I think it was like the day 3 or day 4 video that I did this year, a week and a half ago. When are you going to get more bookshelves for all the books? I don't know. I need more bookshelves. That's why I haven't done a bookshelf tour yet, and that's why you guys haven't like really seen all of my bookshelves yet since I moved here to LA. It's because all my books are, half of my books are still in boxes. I have so many books and not enough bookshelves, and like the bookshelves that I used to have, they didn't survive my move, okay? They all broke. So I had to get new ones, and I did not get enough. So I don't know, bookshelves, getting them and assembling them, and it's a big pain. I will do it eventually, probably. I mean, I'll have to if I want to, but yeah, bookshelves. I love, it's the same as writing. Like, I hate writing, I love having written. I hate building bookshelves and assembling them and organizing them, but I love it when they're all done and I can just look at them. That's the best. Okay, let's just hop on over to the Google Q&A for another moment. See what's going on there. Do you feel your writing improves the further into the novel you get? Yes and no. I don't know. It really depends on the day and my mood. The last scene that I just wrote, not just wrote because I haven't written like 2 days, but I feel like it was not good. Like there was just a lot of like repetition and kind of talking myself in a circle. So that wasn't great, but that doesn't mean that later on it won't get better. There have been some moments in this draft that I was writing and I was like, that's great. I can't believe this is the first draft. Like I just wrote something really good. So I don't think it's necessarily about how far into the novel you are. I think it's just about your mood that day and where you are that day and what's happening in the scene and like how much you're connecting with it. So there is a certain degree of your writing not necessarily improving, but you get more familiar with the characters and the world and the situations. And again, it's about connecting to it. Like you connect to it more the longer you work on it. So yes, I don't know if improve is the right word, but the more you work on it, the better it is because you get more familiar with it and you start to make more connections and like the puzzle pieces coming together and it starts to get good. Yeah. What would you want on your book cover? For what story? For the con rom-com. For the con rom-com, I have in mind right now, like if I had to make a cover for it, it would be like a chalkboard with chalkboard writing, which is very simple and like not super dynamic, but it kind of like captures the feel of the story. Like it's set in a school, you got a chalkboard. I don't design covers. That would not be my job if I were in the publishing industry. Cover design, not for me. But I feel like I would like that one more, without a human on it. I feel like if I did publish this book, though, like through a traditional publisher and they did a cover design, that they would put the humans on it. Because that's what they normally do for contemporary books. Contemporary books usually have humans on them. So I don't know. We'll see. If it was for like, again, I'm not good with covers. If it was for storyteller, I just imagine like I feel like for storyteller, I wouldn't want a dust jacket. I would want something like this. Like I would want it to be maybe looking like leather bound and maybe like a really awesome font saying storyteller. And with one of these bookmarky things too, that would be cool. Otherwise, I don't know, cover design is not my forte, so I don't know what I would want. I would know it when I see it, I feel like if someone designed covers for me and was like, these are all your options, what do you like? And I'd be like, oh, that's great, I can't believe I didn't think of that one, but I can't think of that one on my own. Oh, I love this question. Are you guilty of using the classic, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding line? I'm so not guilty of that. I will never use that line. I came across it, I was reading The Evolution of Mara Dyer, not The Retribution, which I'm still currently reading, but I just finished The Evolution like a couple days ago. And that criminal sentence was in there twice. 2 instances of I let out the breath I didn't know I was holding, and just every time I saw it, like, it pulled me out of the story. I was like, oh, it's the sentence. So no, I would never I will consciously never use that sentence in my writing. However, and this is probably something I'm going to revise out because it was just me kind of being sassy in the moment. I had my character think, I let out the breath I fully knew I was holding, or like I was fully aware I was holding my breath and I let it out. Like I did some like sassy kind of twists on that sentence, which again, I'm not going to keep in the final book, probably. I don't know, maybe I'll see if it ends up working. But no, let out the breath I never knew I was holding, or I didn't know I was holding. I will never use that sentence in a book. I will use, I let out the breath I was fully aware I'd been holding, because that's kind of funny. Oh, here's a good question that I probably can't help with because I'm so bad at this. How does one motivate themselves after November? I'm an expert procrastinator and I don't know if I will have the willpower to continue writing without Nano's external motivation. I'm the wrong person to come to with this because I am terrible. When it's not NaNoWriMo, I have no motivation. I have nothing to keep me going. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I could write today, or I could not, and then I don't write. You gotta set goals and stick with them, which is something that I'm incredibly bad at, but I'm trying to get better. Like here's the secret about all of my NaNoWriMo videos. They're not for you. They're not for you, they're for me. It's me giving myself advice that I don't follow. I don't do half that stuff that I talk about and that I rant about and that I like drill sergeant yell at you about. I do as I say, not as I do. It's totally that kind of situation. That video I just made about goals, like, yeah, I set a lot of goals for myself, but it's like, I don't follow through most of the time. That's my biggest thing, is follow through. I'm really bad at follow through, whether it's with goals like that or like, I'm gonna make this video, and then I never make that video. I'm bad, I'm terrible at follow through, so I'm the wrong person to ask for advice on this topic. I know that in the forums there are like some groups, like that would be my best encouragement to you, is to get other people involved. Like that's why I feel like so many of us are successful during NaNoWriMo. Like a big reason why I'm successful during NaNoWriMo is because I tell all of you guys, hey guys, I'm participating in NaNoWriMo and I'm gonna do daily vlogs. And then I have to do that or I look like a total jackass. So get other people involved. Get like, I don't know where you live, like where I previously lived, this wasn't really an option, but get like a real life humans writing group going on where you meet like once a week and exchange manuscripts or take a creative writing class. That's one thing that I was able to do. I took a creative writing class, and even though I was like at a community college, and even though I was like the only one writing young adult. And there are people of all ages in this group. Like there are people in like their 60s, 70s, and 18-year-olds in this creative writing class at a community college. But it was a workshop class. Like we basically, everyone got to submit stories, and then like 1 week everyone in the class would critique these 4 stories from these 4 different people. And then the next week, another 4 people got to put in their stories that we would all critique and discuss in class. So something like that was really helpful, not only because it was an actual class where there were actual deadlines, but also just being in like a group situation where other people were talking about writing and like excited about it. It was motivating. So that's what I would suggest, is get other people involved, even if it's just one person online that you met through NaNoWriMo or something. Like my critique partners live in Australia and Norway, so they're not exactly local, but it's like we can still connect and talk about writing and like get kind of like worked up and motivated to write and to work on stuff. So yeah, just get other people involved. When someone else is relying on you, that's when I feel like it's the easiest to actually come through. If it's just me saying like, I'm gonna make this video, or I'm going to write a chapter, and like I'm the only one who suffers from me not doing that, then it's not gonna get done. But if it's like, I need to write this chapter because my critique partner and I are exchanging chapters, and I want her to have like something worth critiquing, then that will actually motivate me to do that. So get other people involved. That's my tip for you there. Okay, actually let me answer this one question. It's not about NaNoWriMo, but it's about books. What is your most anticipated release of 2015? I'm gonna make a video about this very soon, because there's not just one. There's a good 5 books, probably more than that I can name off the top of my head. Okay. The Fourth Throne of Glass book, Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas also has another book coming out in May, A Court of Thorns and Roses. The 2 Lunar Chronicles books by Marissa Meyer, Winter. Winter might be my most anticipated. But then there's Rick Riordan's new series, the Magnus Chase, The Dark Artifices coming out, Cassie Clare's new book, Holly Black's book, The Darkest Part of the Forest, Cassie and Holly's book that they write together, the sequel to the Iron Trials. It's The Copper Gauntlet, Victoria Schwab's adult book, A Darker Shade of Magic. Those are the ones that come immediately to mind that I'm like most excited for, but I could go on and on. I'm gonna make a video about this. I am gonna make a video about this for sure, because I'm very excited about a lot of these new releases. I want to talk about them. So, okay, you guys are asking good questions in here, but I wanna hop over to the hashtag for a couple questions, and then I'll hop back to the Q&A. Okay. How much did you need to refer to your own high school years to write this? Good question. Well, I mean, it was so long ago, I can barely remember. Seriously though, I did refer to quite a bit. I don't know how much I want to tell you guys. This is where it always gets so iffy talking about my own story, because I don't know how much I want to tell you. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of stuff that never happened to me that I'm writing about in this story that I don't have any personal experience whatsoever. But some of the situations I do I'll tell you guys a little bit more about my story. So the main character is a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader in high school, and she kind of gets people making judgments about her without really knowing her, just based on the fact that she is a cheerleader. And I got that as well. She also joins this study group. How much do I want to tell you guys? She joins this study group where it's mostly guys due to the nature of what they are studying. She joins a study group that's mostly guys, and so she's kind of like singled out as one of the only girls in the group. And that also happened to me a lot. I mentioned this in the previous live show. I was in this class called Digital Storytelling, which was the best class ever. It was so good. It was all about learning how to vlog. No, not learning how to vlog, but learning how to put video stories together, like short films. And I was the only girl in that class. And so I was kind of like singled out in that sense a lot. And I was really into like computers and gaming to some degree. Like we used to, during lunch and after school, like at my school, if you took a 0 period, which is like 0 period, it's like hella early, it's like 7 in the morning before like even first period. Like you had a choice. You could take a 0 period class or a 6 period class, and you didn't have to take both. You could either start early or stay late. So I took a 0 period class, which means I did not have a 6 period class, but because the buses like don't come until after 6 period, I had essentially a free 6 period. So I would hang out in the computer lab and play Counter-Strike, and I was like the only girl there. And I don't know, I was also, like, again, I was a cheerleader. So not only was I the only girl in this computer lab playing Counter-Strike, but I was often in my cheer uniform if it was a game day or something. So that experience is kind of incorporated into this because the character is a cheerleader and she's doing some things that are like not exactly stereotypical of a cheerleader. So yeah, that was a little bit of my own high school years written into this book, but otherwise it's just all fiction, all based off of me watching like high school dramas and K-dramas set in a high school, and just like those cute, funny situations that I love. Another 1989 related question, because why not? What song on the album works best with your story? I think Blank Space, probably. Blank Space, or Shake It Off, or How You, or I don't know. I love so many songs on this album. It's like ridiculous. There's only 2 songs that I kind of skip. Like if they come on, I'll just skip them. And those 2 songs are, what are they? Let me look at open up my iTunes here. Oh, did I just start playing it? Shh. You Are in Love and This Love. I'm not a huge fan of those 2 songs. I don't dislike them though. Like that's the thing, is I like all of the songs on this album, but This Love and You Are in Love are slower ones, and I feel like more poppy, excitable music works better with the story. So I am listening to those songs more, and those are the 2 that I will occasionally skip through. The one that has the most plays right now of 1989 is New Romantics, but that's just on this iTunes. I have it on my laptop as well, and I have the CD itself in my car. So New Romantics is not necessarily the song I've listened to the most. It's probably Shake It Off is, because that came out so early, and it might be my favorite song on the album. Like it's kind of like old news, so it's not like, yeah, Shake It Off is my favorite because there's so many other good ones, but I love Shake It Off. I think it's fantastic. Honestly, I think my 2 favorite songs of the album are Shake It Off and Blank Space, which are the 2 singles so far, the 2 that we've got music videos for, which, by the way, both music videos are amazing. Taylor, she is just killing it. She's doing so good with, I have so much approval. I keep seeing gifs of her on like Tumblr and stuff, and talking about things that matter, like talking about feminism and how like she's growing, and she'll be talking like in an interview and she'll be like, yeah, I'm really happy with myself right now and I'm happy being alone. And the interviewer will be like, oh, don't worry, you'll meet someone. And she's like, that's not the point. and was like, Taylor, I love you. Yeah, I never considered myself like a Taylor Swift fan before. This is the first album of hers that I've purchased. Like I've liked her music before, and I thought it was really catchy, and like I liked her, but this is the, like, now I'm like, okay, yeah, it looks like I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Yeah, I guess so. Yes, I really like her now. Okay, let's, can you bring in Christine to the live show and talk about stuff? No, Christine's getting ready to go do stuff. She's not here for the live show. Okay, let me go back to the Q&A. I have so many windows open, I can't see what's going on anymore. Let's see. Oh. What were your reasons for quitting that one year that you didn't win? Do you regret it now? I do regret it now. I really regret it. Because the reason was so stupid. The reason I quit was because I got to, like, my story was too short. Okay, that was the reason I quit. Like, I was coming to the conclusion of my story at like 30,000 words. And I was like, oh, my story's done and I'm only at 30,000 words. I guess I'm done now, which I do regret because it wasn't actually done. Like, this was the story that I ended up revising and querying, and it ended up being like 65,000 words or so. So my story like wasn't actually done at 30,000 words. I just rushed the ending so much, and then I had to like go back and like add all this extra stuff in. And yeah, I definitely regret it because I could have, like, we were halfway through the month and I was done with, and I was like finishing up my story, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm just not gonna do anything for the rest of the month. I guess I'm done. Like, I started revising is what I started doing, which, like, I do regret not just finishing the draft, like pushing through and finishing it. But at the same time, I did finish the story. Like, I did complete this novel in revisions. Oh, let me select this question. I did complete this novel in revisions and ended up querying it and like actually finishing it. It's one of the few novels I have that I didn't only draft, but I also revised. I have, how many novels do I have complete? I have to count because like it's so many. Untouched was completed and revised, and I queried it, but it wasn't very good, so it didn't go anywhere. Beautiful Madness was the 2010 NaNoWriMo that I lost NaNoWriMo because at 30,000 words I decided I was done and I should have added more, and that one is revised. Connor Thomas and the Hero of Farshire. That's like a middle grade, younger YA kind of like superhero novel. I really love that one, but like it's not great. Like, that's the thing with all these stories that are finished and revised and polished, is I do really like them, but they're not good enough to be published. Like, people are always like, oh, I want to read it. Why don't you self-publish it? I'm like, I'm not proud enough of it to self-publish it, and I don't want to put in the work to get it up to par with my standards. So it's just gonna sit there forever on its own. I don't know, probably. I'm really bad at making decisions about anything. So like sometimes I think, well, what if I just publish these novels that I've written? Like, I could throw them on Kindle or something and just see what people say. But then at the same time, I'm like, I know it's not my best work, and like someone might read that and decide not to read my future books because it's not very good. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that I should just publish them either like for free or to try to make some money off of it so that I can focus more on writing, because I have like some income from writing, and that would be like encouraging. But ultimately, I'm not 100% happy with these books, so I do not want to unleash them into the public. But yeah, I don't know. I can't make decisions about pretty much anything. Like, from little things, like, what food do I want to eat? What food am I going to eat today? Oh, I don't know, but I am terrible with decisions. Okay, I'm gonna hop over to the hashtag for a minute because there's so many questions everywhere. Are you excited for The Air by Kira Cass? Kind of. Like, I might read it, but I wasn't a huge fan of the selection series. Like, America's Singer was so frustrating that, like, I enjoyed the books in a way, but they also, like, frustrated me. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be better if it's not narrated from the point of view of America, but just from reading the premise where I was like, okay, it's America and Maxon's daughter having her own selection. Is that still happening? Like, I would think of all people, America and Maxon would shut that down. Like, didn't they not like the selection? And like, aren't they changing the world and stuff? Like, I don't know. I'm like already frustrated about this book, so I imagine it's gonna frustrate me. I'm not gonna get it right away, and I'm not gonna read it right away. I'm gonna wait to hear from people because, again, I wasn't the hugest fan of the selection series. So we'll see. I am almost 20K behind. What should I do? Just keep writing. Even if you end the month with 30,000 words instead of 50,000, that's still great. Like, that's still 30,000 more than you would have had otherwise. Just keep writing. Do it 10K Tuesday. And here's the thing. This is something that one of my NaNoWriMo friends like commented before. Cheryl. She raconteurs. I can't say her. I can never pronounce that word. But she like left me a comment one time that was like, oh yeah, these 3,000 word days really add up. And it's so true. Like, doing a 3,000 word day won't kill you. Not like a 10K Tuesday will. Like, after 10K Tuesday, you might need to like take a day to just recuperate and relax because you just like all of the words from your brain into the computer or on pen and paper, however you write. But 3,000 word days is not impossible. Like, you could do 3,000 words a day, and at 3,000 words a day, you can start today and still win NaNoWriMo just about. Like, it's never too late. It ain't over till it's over. I made that video too. Just keep writing. Just keep going. What? It doesn't matter how behind you are. Just keep going. Wow, that is a really unattractive frozen screenshot of my face. I just saw like the thumbnail for this video. It is not pretty. What is your ideal writing outfit? Sweatpants and a t-shirt and a hair clip to throw my hair up. What else do you like? What else do you need? Pajamas. Pajamas. I live in pajamas. Like, I don't put on real pants unless I have to. The other day when Christine and I were filming the 50 Shades of Grey trailer reaction, she was like, Kat, do you want to be in my 50 Shades of Grey trailer reaction? And my response was, as long as I don't have to put on real pants. So I'm like, I like put a dress on, and you can't see it, but I'm wearing sweatpants underneath the dress. Like, I just dressed up my top half for the video. So yeah, pajamas, always pajamas. Pajamas are my ideal everything outfit. I sometimes wear pajamas when I go to get my Starbucks, although not so much anymore. Like, I'm not going to Starbucks that much anymore because this is something that I don't like about Los Angeles. There are like no Starbucks with drive-thrus down here. Up in Northern California, where I used to live, not in like the Bay Area, because I don't know what the Starbucks situation is there, but I lived further north. Where I live, All of the Starbucks had drive-thrus, and it was beautiful. I didn't have to get out of my car to get my coffee. Like, I didn't have to do anything to myself to get my coffee. And now I have to like walk into the Starbucks, and there's always like 12 other people there trying to get their caffeine fix. So I have to like put on real clothes, and like I don't usually do my makeup or hair. Like I'll just be standing there like looking like a gremlin. I'm just waiting for my coffee. Give me my coffee. I wish I could drive through. I miss the Starbucks drive through. That's what I miss most. Ask me what I miss most about living in Northern California. The Starbucks is with drive-thrus. Man, I miss it so hard. Are you out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Screaming color. I'm getting tired of talking. Yeah, out of the woods. I don't know. How do I answer that question? I'm in the woods. We're in the, it really is a midpoint madness. I feel like I'm slowly going insane. And how many of you are here? And there's almost 200 of you here witnessing my descent into insanity. Hi. Hope you're enjoying the show. I'm not out of the woods. I'm 5,000 words behind right now. I don't know how we got to this point. How did we get here? Are we out of the woods? Are we out of the woods? We're not out of the woods yet. We're in the middle of the woods, yo. We're lost. Next question. Do you watch YouTubers other than BookTubers? Yeah, of course I do. Let me look at my subscription list. I do watch a lot of BookTubers. Like it's mostly BookTubers, I feel like. But I'm also like, I didn't even get into BookTube until I had already been like on YouTube for a while. So let's see. Who do I like? Philip DeFranco, Sexy Phil, SourceFed Nerd, all of the Philip DeFranco channels and things. I like them. BookTubers, so many BookTubers. Eat Your Kimchi, I love them. Simon and Martina, they are like Korean, K-pop, K-drama, Korean culture type vloggers. They're Canadians who went to Korea to teach, and now they live in Korea, and I love their videos. They're hilarious, and I love Korea. It's just, they're great. All of their channels too, they have like Eat Your Kimchi and Simon and Martina Bonus and Open the Happy, just all of that. Tom Ska, PewDiePie. I don't watch many PewDiePie videos though, but I do like him. He's funny. Vlog Brothers, Mariana Shut Up, Shaytards, Crash Course, BookTubers, SciShow, BookTubers, Niga Higa and Higa TV. I think that Ryan Higa is like one of the most hilarious humans in the world. I love his content. A couple of beauty gurus, Graveyard Girl, Miss Glamorazzi, Nanowrimo. She's not a beauty guru, but I just saw her in my list here. Psycho Soprano, Miranda Sings, Miranda and Colleen. I love her. Mostly BookTubers. Anna Akana. BookTubers. So many BookTubers. Hank Games. I already said Vlog Brothers, but like I watch just about all of the other Vlog Brother channels too. Hank Games. I love Hank Games. Swoodly Poopers. They're not the Swoodly Poopers anymore. And Hank's channel, his side channel. Lots of BookTubers. Hey, what do you know, BookTubers? There's other people too, but like they haven't uploaded in the last day. I'm subscribed to, how many subscriptions do I have? My subscription, it used to say right here, manage subscriptions. I don't know, I feel like I'm subscribed to like 300 or 400 people. So I'm subscribed to a lot of channels. Some of them don't even post anymore though. So, well, I don't know. But I am subscribed to a lot of people. I love YouTube. I love watching YouTube videos. I could watch YouTube videos all day. Some days I do. Booktubers and YouTubers. I love it all. Are there any actors you think that fit your characters if your novel was to be a movie? There are, but I don't want to say. Like I said, keeping it on the download this year. Maybe I'll talk about this at another point, but for now I don't want to say. Favorite TV shows. Let's talk about TV shows. I love TV. I actually have, I'm such a nerd. I have these Post-it notes on the wall right up here that say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and Sunday. And like on each Post-it note, I have the shows that I like to watch and what time they're on, what time they play on. So I can be like, oh, it's Monday. These are all the shows on TV that I want to watch. Like seriously, Monday and Tuesday, I spend like a good 3 hours watching television on each of those days, like the new TV shows, if there's new shows. A couple on Wednesday and Thursday and Sunday. Do you guys want to hear the whole lineup? I was planning to do a video about this, but maybe I'll just talk about it here and not make the video. Do you guys care about what TV shows I watch? Okay, I'll be fast. Monday, Castle. Castle is the best. I also have been watching Dancing with the Stars because Christine watches that show, and so I've kind of like started watching it because it's on. But Castle is my favorite Monday show. It's one of my favorite shows. I also started watching Jane the Virgin. That might be my favorite new show of the fall season. Is it? It's one of them. There's a couple good ones, but Jane the Virgin is fantastic. Castle is fantastic. America's Next Top Model, which used to be on Mondays, but now it's like on Fridays. I watched that as well. Mostly because it's just become a habit at this point. Like I've watched every cycle of America's Next Top Model. I've seen them all. And I don't know, it's like a guilty pleasure kind of. Tuesday, The Flash is the other like new show of the fall 2014 season that I'm loving. The Flash is great. Of course, Arrow, that's on Wednesday. New Girl is so good, and they're just like killing it this season. That episode, two episodes ago, not the most recent one, but the one before that, the one with the meth. That was like the most hilarious half hour of television I've witnessed in a while. It was so good. The Mindy Project, also on Tuesdays. I love that. I do watch Supernatural, but I'm not watching it this season because I'm not caught up yet. I need to get on Netflix and catch up on season 9 before I can watch season 10. But from what I hear, Supernatural is doing good this season too. I'm excited. It's the last season, right? I feel like it's the last season of Supernatural, and that's really sad, but it's a good show. They've had a long run of 10 years, and I'm excited to see how it all wraps up. Wednesday, Arrow. I love Arrow. I was so hesitant to start it, but once I did, I'm like, oh my god, this show is so good. It's so good. Doctor Who, I haven't seen the finale yet. Like it's on the DVR, it's ready for me to watch, but I've been trying to keep up with Nanowrimo. I haven't had time to watch the Doctor Who finale yet, but I do have that ready to watch when I want to. I watched a little bit of the Red Band Society earlier in the season, but like I kind of gave up a couple episodes ago. I wasn't feeling it as much. Like I might still watch it, but I'm not like really hooked into it anymore. Bones, I do watch Bones, mostly because I've been watching it for so long. I feel like they haven't been as good as it has been in the past. Like Bones is kind of slipping a little bit in my mind, but I'm so attached to the characters. Like I keep watching. Also, actually, that last Bones episode had a good story. Like the last few episodes have been doing well, but I just remember last season, like all this ridiculous stuff was happening. Like the stories weren't well put together. Yeah, but for the most part, I do like Bones. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I see another question here is unrelated. Do you watch Parks and Rec? I love Parks and Rec, and the same people who did Parks and Rec are some of the same writers or producers, showrunners, I don't know. Some people involved with Parks and Rec are also involved with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love both of those shows. I think they're hilarious. Parks and Rec isn't coming back until January. Like it's a mid-season situation. A couple other mid-season shows that I'm probably gonna watch Glee when it comes back. Even though kind of like Bones, like they've been slipping a bit in the later years, but I am still invested enough to watch the last season of Glee. And I can't believe it's the last season of Parks and Rec. That's sad. But they've also had a good run. Oh, Community is another one that is coming back like in the mid-season, I believe, and it's like gonna be on Yahoo. Like it's gonna be an online only situation. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm glad they're getting another season. 6 seasons in a movie, right? Outlander. I watched Outlander. I really like Outlander. Excited for that to come back. Game of Thrones is such a fantastic show. I'm really late to the game here because I only started watching it like earlier this year, but it's so good and I can't wait for it to come back. What else? Orphan Black. I just marathoned the first 2 seasons of Orphan Black. Holy crap, that show is fantastic. Like the reason I watched it was because I keep seeing all these GIFs on Tumblr. I'm like, what is this show, Orphan Black? Everyone's always talking about it. What is it? I started watching it and I was like, oh my God, this is why everyone's always talking about it. It's good, it's so good. I'm also looking forward to Agent Carter. It's like a mini series that's gonna be happening in January, so that's exciting. I will be watching that as well. I think those are all the shows. I think those are all the shows. I'm pretty busy with all the shows that I watch. But I think that's it. Are you following your outline so far? Yes, I always follow my outline. Outlining is my favorite part. I spend the most time outlining and then I just like fill in the blanks. It is somewhat detrimental to the creative process because I feel like the stories are already done. Like I feel like I've written like 20 books because in my mind, like those stories kind of have been written and like they're complete and I have like the full stories in my head, but then on paper I'm like, what is this? Like this is not complete. That is one sentence that just says like, she kills the bad guy. What a great scene. Oh, look at the climactic moment. She kills the bad guy. So yeah, my outlines are like that, like she kills the bad guy. So I need to like fill in that scene, but I'm gonna stick to that scene. Like she's gonna end up killing the bad guy. Do you like reading stories on Wattpad? I don't read stories on Wattpad. Like I just recently signed up for an account because I wanted to see something on there, but I generally don't read stories on Wattpad. I might, but I have so many other books to read rather than Wattpad stuff. So yeah. They see you.
Sorry, trying to make some food.
No, yeah, go for it. They have questions for you. They want to know about my behavior during NaNoWriMo.
I mean, it's pretty normal.
I'm normal. You hear that?
Yeah, just kind of balancing the writing with everything else, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, it's not the writing that's hard. It's the vlogging every single day. Yeah, that's what's driving me insane. Because the writing, I can get the writing done in like an hour, but the vlogging takes like an hour to film, not that long.
An hour to get ready.
Yeah, an hour to get ready and film, and then like 2 or 3 hours to edit, and then the exporting and the uploading and yada yada. It's the vlogging every day that's the difference. Otherwise, the writing is just easy when you compare it to vlogging every day. What was the best NaNoWriMo year for you? 2012. storyteller. That was like the golden era. It was just a good time. Like I wrote, I loved my story while writing. That was like when my vlog like was just starting. I mean, I did like vlog for NaNoWriMo 2011, but at the beginning of NaNoWriMo 2012, I had like 40 subscribers. So it's not like I had a community that like to rely on or to like have fun with. But then in 2012, I started making friends, internet friends. I met Aaliyah and Caitlin and Jarrett and Cheryl and like all these people who are doing NaNoWriMo this year and like also vlogging. Cheryl doesn't vlog that much, but yeah, this NaNoWriMo 2012 was a beautiful time. It was the best NaNoWriMo ever, and I'm still trying to capture the feeling of that NaNoWriMo again, but it's not going to happen. Like, even though this NaNoWriMo is going pretty good, it's still not the same. It's just not the same, man. I'm in the middle of my novel, and I suddenly had an idea for a complete new direction my story could go. Should I stick with my outline or let my novel do what it wants? In this situation, I would say let your novel do what it wants. You know, see how that plays out. If you feel like that's the direction that your story is wanting to go in, go with it. And if it doesn't work, you still have your original outlined direction to like fall back on. But I say go with the new direction. Play it out. See where it goes. You can always rely on your outline again if you need to. When you write during NaNoWriMo, does your mood affect the mood in the story? I think so. I don't know. It's more like the story affects my mood. Like if it's a fun like happy scene, then like I'll be writing it and I'll like get into it. I don't know. Maybe it kind of goes both ways. Since I am writing like a cutesy romantic comedy type book, it's not like a big like affecting story. It's not like I'm writing about like serious stuff happening or like grief and trauma. Like it's just fun. So yeah, I mean, if I'm in a bad mood and I'm trying to write, then my mood might affect it in that like it's not as fun as it could be, but I'll fix it in revisions. Yes. Is Christine doing NaNoWriMo? No, she is not.
I can't handle pressure like that and also do videos and also do shorts.
Yeah. Too much for her. Also, she's leaving in a few days to go back home to Jersey, and she has like all the family stuff. So
I want a playlist.
And playlist, yeah. So yeah, it would just be too much for her, too much stress. If you see that you spelled a word wrong or messed up the grammar in a previous sentence, how do you stop yourself from editing it? I just don't read it. I just, like, if I'm in like a break or like if I want to go back and fix it, I will. But for the most part, I'm just like, okay, that's there. I can fix it at any point in time, but I have a limited amount of time in which to write new words. So for now, I should write the new words, and maybe later I'll fix that terrible, ugly sentence. But yeah, you just gotta keep moving forward. Just keep on keeping on. I keep saying that. I keep saying to keep on keeping on. But you have to keep on keeping on. What is the date for 10K Tuesday this year? It is the 25th. I typically do it on the last Tuesday of the month as kind of like a last chance to catch up and get those words. Also, I think last year I won on 10K Tuesday, and the year before that in 2012, I might have won on 10K Tuesday. I don't know, 10K Tuesday usually pushes me into a victory. If not past that 50K, then it at least like gets me really close. So yes, 10K Tuesday, November 25th. I'm gonna be doing a live show that day because I'm not gonna have time to like edit and upload a video in addition to writing 10,000 words and doing sprints all day. So I'll probably do a delirious live show at the end of the day. That'll be fun. Okay, I'm gonna hop on Twitter for a little bit more. How do you plot your stories? I have like 10 videos about this. I've done a lot of examples. Like I took an idea and outlined an entire story from it in a live show before. So that's how I plot my stories. Yeah, I've already done so much about that. 57 new results. Let's refresh these. There's one question at the top. Do you like to write love triangles, or do you not enjoy it? I don't think many of my stories have love triangles. I mean, Storyteller kind of has a weird love shape happening, because I talked about this in the last live show. Like, the girl, the author of the story, like, wakes up in her own novel and she kind of has a crush on her main character, but her main character has a love interest, and she is like the #1 fangirl of that relationship. So not only does she really ship her two characters together, but she also is kind of in love with the character herself, and it's like an awkward, and then there's like a couple other players involved, kind of. I don't want to give away too much, but I am not opposed to love triangles. That's certainly not a deal breaker for me. In fact, one of my favorite like relationships in a book series was a love triangle, and that was in the Infernal Devices. I love that love triangle because it's not like an angsty, jealousy type situation. Like, they all love each other so much. It's beautiful. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. There's so many questions. I'm sorry. Any writing rules that you preach but don't practice? All of them. Seriously though, all of them. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. I'm really good at like spouting out the advice I've heard before and like what I know is the right thing to do, but I'm really bad at doing it. Yeah. Any tips on writing descriptive scenes, banter, cutesy moments, etc.? I don't really have any solid tips on that aside from just like read books with scenes like that in it and like study them. Like, you just have to study whatever you want to like emulate. Study it and practice and kind of like get your own take on it. Like, watch cutesy scenes or scenes with like great dialogue in TV shows or movies. Read a lot, watch a lot. Just study it and see how other people do it and see what you can learn from that. Like, that's the only way to do it. There's no like tip or advice that I can give you other than just learn it yourself, which doesn't sound very forthcoming, but that's the best way to do anything, is to like just study it, get some hands-on practice, read it a lot, write it a lot, and you'll get better at it, whatever it is. What is your favorite piece of classic literature, and how do you feel about antique books versus brand new books? My favorite piece of classic literature, I like Shakespeare. I don't know, does that count as, I mean, classic? I don't know if that counts as classic literature, Shakespeare's plays, but I do like Shakespeare's work. Antique books versus brand new books. The thing is, I prefer brand new books because I just don't like other humans being all up on my books. But I also, I don't know, there's something like historical feeling and like history, and I don't know, something that is a word that is not in my head, so I can't describe it properly, about like an old book. Like, it has so much history and so much personality, and like it's been through a lot, man. When we went to the last bookstore, they have like this room of like all these old books that are like 100 years old, maybe not that old, but like old books. And I'm like, these books are so cool, but when it comes to like the books that I like, I prefer them to be brand new. I do like antique books though. I don't know. I feel like this is readable, but like an antique book, I wouldn't want to read it. Like I would just want to like put it in a museum. What question? Would you prefer J.K. Rowling to write an 8th Harry Potter book or John Green to never write again? 8th Harry Potter book? What kind of question is that? I mean, obviously, I do think that the Harry Potter series is complete and perfect as it is, but I would love another book set in that world. That would be fantastic. And, well, I would want John Green to write again. What kind of question is that? Okay, I'm gonna pop over to, there's a question about my makeup is on point. Thank you. I feel like it's like melting off at the moment and not on point. But thank you. Do you think the Adoption Society forum is cheating, especially when a lot of people adopt the same ideas, lines, etc.? I absolutely do not think that it's cheating. Here's the thing, not everyone writes for the same reason. Like, a lot of people are writing Nanowrimo just for fun, and they're not gonna try to publish it, and they don't care if they're using the same lines that like other people are using. And even if you are going to publish it, like, it was there to be adopted. Like, if someone gives up a plot and someone else writes it, like, they're kind of making it their own. Yeah, I don't think it was cheating at all. I think, I personally don't really use a ton of stuff from the Adoption Society. Like, I like browsing through it and seeing if anything kind of like sparks an idea with me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, like I should go with that. But generally I don't use it because I do generally want to pursue publication at some point with my stuff, and I don't want it to be something that I got from someone else or something that a bunch of other people are also including. Like, there's a couple lines that always surface in the Adoption Society, and like the witty line or clever comebacks line, stuff like that. There's a couple of like pieces of dialogue that I really love, but I would never use in a story because it's not original, like it's been done before. But I definitely don't think it's cheating. I think it's a great resource, and it can inspire you to come up with new things and new jokes. If you hit the 50,000 word count goal at the end of November, but you didn't finish your novel, are you going to put it aside for a while, or are you going to write throughout December until it's done? Me personally, how I do my novels is, I've talked about this before, but I do 3 acts broken into 9 blocks, broken into 27 chapters. So rather than kind of writing straight through, since I do have it outlined so much, and I have scenes that are like, she kills the bad guy, like that, I'll have that as like the entire chapter. Like, that's the climax chapter. Obviously not for this novel, because this is a contemporary romantic comedy and no one's going to die. Spoilers, no one dies in this book. But because like I'll have a chapter that's like, she kills the bad guy, what I will do is I will flesh that out until it's in between like 1,800 and 2,000 words, and then I'll move on. So I'll usually end the month with 50,000 words and my story is done, but each of the chapters might need to be extended a little bit. Like, as soon as I hit like 1,800 words on a chapter, I start thinking like, okay, I'm done with this one, move on to the next one, right? 1,800 words on this next chapter. Even if that chapter is not completely like fleshed out all the way and like not done as long as it will end up being, because like some of these might end up being 3,000 words, but they're only 2,000 words right now because I want to keep moving on, keep things interesting. Also, like, I don't want to focus on revising at all, and if I try to add more, then I'm going to get into like revision territory and like start moving stuff around. So I kind of just want to keep moving. However, I did, when I did the Warlock and Gladiator story for Camp NaNoWriMo last year, that story is like meant to be 100,000 words or so. Like, it's meant to be a big fantasy novel, and I only wrote 50,000 words, and it's only at the halfway point. Like, it's such a big story that I'm only at the halfway point. So, and I never finished it. Like, I finished Camp NaNoWriMo, and at 50,000 words, halfway through the story, and I was just like, done. So that's part of the reason why I try to aim for 50,000 words complete novel, because that's the only way I can get like a good workable draft. And then extending it goes on like a chapter by chapter basis, not like extending it just at the end. Like, I need to extend it all over the place. Have you ever considered hosting a writing program, write-a-thon, meetup, etc. during the rest of the year? You mentioned loving the community, so why not extend it to stay motivated and inspired? I have definitely considered this. Before I lived in Los Angeles, it wasn't really an option because I lived in a small town, and like I said, like, nothing was around me for a couple hours. Like, the only local writers, that's the thing, is I feel like it's really important to find a group of people who write the same thing that you do, or at least like your writing enough to want to read it. And the problem with me is, like, in this creative writing class, I was like, there's maybe 20 students, and I was like one of 2 people writing YA. And of course, and like, for the most part, even the people who weren't writing young adult and who didn't like young adult, they still like read my story and gave it good feedback and didn't focus on like the fact that it was young adult. But there were also a couple people who were like really dismissive of it just because it was young adult. Even though, quick moment of bragging, my teacher did say that my submitted chapter was one of the best, most polished pieces of writing she had ever encountered in any of her creative writing classes. So, suck on that. But I would definitely consider doing some kind of writing program or something throughout the rest of the year. It might be local, Los Angeles based, or I might do kind of like an online thing. I don't know. Like I was talking about earlier, I'm terrible at making decisions. I have all these like big ideas for plans I want to do, and like one of the things that I kind of want to do is do like a writing course. Like, I want to teach you what I know about creative writing and talk about creative writing and have like essentially an online writing class for anyone who's interested in that. But then I get like, I second guess it. I'm like, not only would that be a lot of work, but I get enough hate as it is just for making the occasional writing video. Like, yeah, a lot of people love them and really appreciate them, but I get nasty comments all the time, and it's really discouraging. So, I don't know. We'll see. I have lots of ideas. It's just a matter of following through with them. Do you think eccentric names in YA are annoying or far-fetched, or do you like them? It depends. Sometimes, like, I didn't like the names in the Hunger Games at first. I was like, Katniss, but now I like, it's so big, like it doesn't seem like a weird name anymore. I was not a fan of the names in the Selection series or the names in the book I just recently read and wasn't a fan of, The Jewel. That also has some ridiculous names. But a lot of fantasy books will have like non-traditional names, but I don't know, it depends on the name. Like, I guess I'm kind of picky in that sense. Like, it could be a completely weird name, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. Or it could be a completely weird name, and I'm like, what is with that name? So it's all a personal preference. Like, I can't say weird names no or weird names yay. It depends on the weird name. I didn't like Katniss at first, or Gale, or Peeta, or any of them. I was like, what is happening? But now I do like them. I mean, it might just be overexposure, but I don't know. It would depend on the name. What TV show season premiere or pilot premiere are you most excited for this next season? Whew. I don't know. I'm excited for Outlander to come back, but I don't think that's the one I'm most excited for. It's probably Game of Thrones, to be honest. That's just so well done. Oh, what'd you say?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, yeah. I don't know, I'm nervous about Parks and Rec. Yeah, the time jump is so weird. And always like, oh, time jump. What happened to those 3 years? What's going on?
They got rid of the kids.
Yeah, I am like, that's promising that we don't have to deal with like that whole plot line. But yeah. Anyways, here's an interesting one. Do you ever seek help or advice from your friends, like Christine, while you were writing, or only before you start and after you finish? Not usually while I'm writing. Like, I don't usually come to a moment in a scene where I'm like, what do I do here, necessarily? But before, definitely. Like I said, I had those 6 ideas that I was trying to decide what was I going to write, and I told them all to Christine and also to Jessie and was like, you guys tell me which ones sound good. Like, get some feedback in that sense. And after I finished, like, they've also read some of my like finished polished writing as well. But usually mid-writing, I need to like be in my own little writing bubble. Before and after, bring on the input. But otherwise, I need to be in my writing bubble. Okie dokie, let's see. There's so many tweets, and I gotta wrap this up soon because I've been doing this for almost 2 hours now, and like that was my limit. So 10 minutes. Ask any last questions that you have, vote them up, tweet them my way. Again, I'm so sorry I was not able to answer all of these questions on Twitter. I have 60 new notifications, and there's so many questions. So I'm sorry. Are you reading any novels at the moment? I am reading The Retribution of Mara Dyer. I'm about 200 pages in. This whole series is just a really big WTF situation. Christine's also reading it. She's like in the same spot that I'm at. Yeah, that's probably all I'm going to read this month. Like, I'm going to finish up Retribution and reread Mockingjay, and that'll do it for my reading, since I'm focusing on the writing this month, not the reading. What music do you listen to get hyped up to write? Usually I just listen to whatever music I have like in my mind assigned to my story. So in this case, I listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. I just listen to a lot of Taylor Swift, not just with writing, but in life. Like, I wake up and I put Taylor Swift on. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. I think Will win ANTMU. I think it's a very good possibility, but Keith has really been bringing it these last few episodes. And like, now that it's crunch time, I don't know. I think Adam will be the next one to go home. I think our final 4 are going to be Will, Keith, Shy, and Lennox. But I don't know who win. I think a guy will win, because like last season, Tyra really wanted a guy to win, but what's her name? The girl just like killed it. Like, they had to give it to her because she was just so good. So I think this year a guy will win. If it's between Will and Keith, I think I would like Will to win. I like Will. I like Keith too. But like, Will has been pretty strong the whole competition, whereas Keith is like just bringing it these last 2 episodes. But he's so good. That last episode where Keith and Will both got perfect scores, and then Keith got Best Picture. Like, Will got a 30, a perfect straight 10s, and he still didn't get Best Picture. I was like, oh, Will, baby. But they had like a really similar shot too. I like both of them. They're both good. Anyways, America's Next Top Model. Okay. No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I said S.H.I.E.L.D. Did I not say S.H.I.E.L.D. when I was talking about TV shows? I'm pretty sure I said S.H.I.E.L.D. I love S.H.I.E.L.D. Yes. Some more of you guys were asking about ANTM. How many of you watch ANTM? Do we have more ANTM people in here? Who do you think is going to win? I don't know. It could go either way. I don't think it's going to be Adam, though. If it was a girl, I think I kind of like Shy's look a little bit more, but I feel like Lennox does better in the photos and in the go-sees. Like, she killed it. That's also, I love that they're in Korea right now. Like, I'm like, oh, they're in South Korea, K-pop, Seoul. I want to go there. So I'm really liking that about the situation right now. I know you made a video about pen names, but in the future, do you think you will ever use one? I don't know. Like I said, I think I've mentioned this before in a live show, that I might pull a Robert Galbraith on you guys. I might publish something under a pseudonym and not tell you until it's published and be like, oh yeah, by the way, that book that came out a few months ago, totally mine. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might publish it under my own name, and like, you guys will know the moment I get a book deal. Like, I'll be like, guys, I got a book deal. It's coming out in 2018, because publishing takes a very long time. So that might be the situation. Yeah, I don't know. I might use a pen name. I might use my real name. I don't know. Again, I'm terrible at making decisions. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Please start making videos about creative writing. I have a lot planned. I definitely could. We'll see if I can follow through. I don't know. Like I said, I always get rude comments that are like, oh, what do you know about writing? You're not published, yada yada. So that's not very encouraging. But a lot of you guys are very, like, most of the comments I get are very encouraging and supportive and like appreciative. But all it takes is a couple comments to like make me go like, fine. Because the creative writing videos take so much time to put together. Like, I do a bunch of research, I script them, they're usually pretty long, and then I put it out, and I get like comments that are like, oh, you said this wrong, or oh, your voice is annoying, you're stupid, just mean stuff. And I'm like, I'm just not gonna do the creative writing videos then. If I'm gonna get this, I'll just endless book tags, because even though people hate on those, at least they're really fun to do. Do you ever get distracted by the non-writing elements of your novel, like cover design, dedication, synopsis, names of places, etc.? Mostly I get distracted by the publishing process. Like, I'm like, who would I query? What do I want this to be? The biggest thing is, do I want this to be my debut novel? Like, for some reason, I've built up in my head that like the debut novel is like super important, and like I need to have the perfect debut novel because that will determine the rest of my career. It'll make or break my career, which is not necessarily true, but like that's my way of thinking about it. So that's really what I think. I think like, oh, well, if I publish this novel, will people expect my next one to be along the same lines, or will they, or is my next one gonna be too similar to this one that they'll like put me in this type that I only do? So that's what I think about the most. Cover design, dedication, synopsis, all that stuff doesn't really enter my mind that much because Oh, now I feel like I am going to start worrying about it. Who am I going to dedicate my book to? Crap. Cover design, though, is not an issue because I'm not skilled enough to design covers, so it's not like I'm like too busy designing covers to focus on my novel. But the non-writing elements that distract me, definitely everything about the publishing process. Who am I going to query? How am I going to write a query letter? What publisher will pick this up? All that stuff. For the longest time, I thought your name was Cat O Coffee. Just wanted to let you know. I've actually gotten that before.
Cat O Coffee. It's just like Keith except with coffee.
That will be my pen name. Cat O'Keefe, Cat O Coffee. Similar, close, very close. But I love coffee. Coffee is my middle name. That's not true. Okay, a couple more questions on Twitter, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, a couple of questions about writing romance from like 3 different people just recently tweeted about writing romance because you don't know much about it. Read it. Read romance novels. Read good ones and trashy ones, and like just read lots of romance and see how they do it. Watch romances on TV, like romantic movies. Just study it and see what they do right and see what they do wrong, and like figure out what you think is romantic and like what you would want to incorporate, and just study, read a lot, write a lot. That's the only way to learn. It's the same as like I've seen some people talk about how they don't know how to write romance because like they've never been in a relationship, they've never been in love, they've never like had that romance. You don't need to have that romance. Just read about it. Read about it and watch it on TV. And it's the same as that example I talked about serial killing earlier. You don't need experience with murdering people to know how to write murder. You don't need personal experience with romance to know how to write it. Just experience it through books and movies and TV shows. Yes. Okay. Do you read or write fan fiction? Not so much. I have read some fan fictions before, mostly for like the big franchises. Like I've read Harry Potter fan fiction, Twilight fan fiction, Shadowhunter Chronicles fan fiction, but I haven't really written any. I did play around a little bit with an idea of writing a Doctor Who fan fiction because I feel like that is one of the worlds that you can just play around with so much. Like you can create a whole new Doctor, a whole new companion, a whole new world. Like Doctor Who is just endless possibilities. So I played around with as a Doctor Who fan fiction where I was the companion, of course, but I never actually wrote it. Like I sketched out a really rough outline for it and was like, oh yeah, that would be good. It's fun to think about. But I never actually wrote it because I would prefer to write something that I might actually be able to publish or like pursue publication with. And a Doctor Who fan fiction is not one of those things. Like I couldn't publish that. Okay, I think that's it. Let me see if there's any last questions I could answer. I don't see anything super new or fresh. What should I do for 10K Tuesday if I have school? Do a 10K Saturday instead. It doesn't have alliteration in the title, but you can still do that. The whole origin of 10K Tuesday was because 10,000 words was the most words I had ever written in one day, and I wanted to do it again. Like I'd only done it once before NaNoWriMo 2012. Like I did it, I think it was the previous NaNoWriMo maybe, but I only done it once, and I was like, you know what? I want to do it again. 10,000 words in one day is a lot of words, but I think I could do it again. and I just chose Tuesday because I like alliteration. But otherwise, just do it on another day. Like, you don't need me to be running sprints or to like be making it a 10K Tuesday, like an actual event to do it. Just decide that like, hey, next Saturday, I'm gonna try to write 10,000 words on that day, and then just go for it. Or if 10,000 is too high for you, then just decide to do like your own personal best. Yeah, just do it, just go for it, you can do it. Yeah, do it on a weekend if you have school. Or ditch school. Don't ditch school. Don't listen to me. I'm a terrible role model. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up because I see so many questions that I have already answered, either already in this live show or just in the one I did like a week ago. So also my throat is dying and I've been doing this for like 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live show and for hanging out with me and asking me all these questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. Again, a lot of these are duplicates from the last live show or from earlier in this live show, so forgive me for not just echoing myself over and over again. That's one thing about these live shows. Like, I love doing them, but so many of the questions are repeats. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, thank you for coming. I hope you are having a great day and writing lots of words. I will see you guys tomorrow with an update video, and I'm gonna do a live show for sure on 10K Tuesday, November 25th. I might do another one in between now and then, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But yes. Thank you for coming. Go write some words. I would host a writing sprint right now, but I have to go start laundry and start packing for the night of Writing Dangerously tomorrow. But go write for 20 words right now if you want to do a sprint. I will be sprinting with you, but write for 20 minutes and then tweet me how many words you got, and I'll be like, yeah, go you. Good job. Write those words. Anyways, I need to go drink some water. Thank you for coming. I will see you again soon with another update video. Goodbye.